It's almost impossible to watch a basketball game nowadays without seeing a player or two sporting a few tattoos. They've become as common to the game as sweatbands or knee braces, and the UW's men's basketball team is no exception to the trend. I spoke with a few of the players about their ink. What was the first tattoo that you got?
My mom's name on my wrist. I wanted to start out small because I didn't know how they was going to feel once I ended up getting tattoos.
And why did you decide on your mom's name for your first tattoo?
That's the woman of my life, that inspiration, motivation, and I dedicate basketball to her. So,
my first tattoo was my grandmother's name. Louise is my grandmother, and she's the one that raised me since I was younger. You know, since I was 4 months, my mom couldn't take care of me. So in reference to her, I got this on my arm.
Tributes to family members are what got most of these hoopers started with tattoos, but they also found inspiration for their ink in other places. Seattle locals Tony Roten and Hakeem Stewart both have pieces dedicated to their city.
I was actually born in Mississippi, but I've been in Seattle since I was about 5 years old, and I love my city, so I decided to get it tatted.
Additionally, Stewart is a big fan of quotations. He describes how each quote relates to a different aspect or moment of his life.
This quote is walking on a dream. I decided to get this once I committed to UW because I'm finally living out my dream of playing college basketball.
How about this one up here? What's this one about?
It says take the good with the bad, even if the bad outweighs the good. Just taking life for what it's worth, you know. The cards may not be dealt the way you want them.
Stewart also has this tattoo of an ice cream cone holding a basketball on his left forearm.
It's been my nickname since 6th grade. My middle school basketball coach said I played smooth, and he was like, "I'm gonna call you Ice Cream."
This one here is still peeling a little bit. Is this recent or?
This is my newest one, actually. It's the fighter jet from World War I, and I got faith over it. And then right here is the star was born, and that's my birthday. And then right here, weather the storm with the grace from God was a quote that I chose out for this. And I got it the day before practice, and I was getting beat up a lot because my arm was burning, but I just wore a long sleeve and didn't tell coach.
While head coach Lorenzo Romar didn't seem to be too keen on the idea of tattoos, he explained why he tolerates his players' ink.
It's kind of the culture. A lot of them have them before they get here, and that's their choice. And that's what they choose to do, and their family's fine with it. That's their decision.
Coach Romar let me in on a little secret about his own experience with tattoos. And do you have any tattoos yourself?
I do not. I don't have any tattoos. I will confess there was a day when I was probably 9 or 10 that I'd get some in a Cracker Jack box and put the little tattoos on my hand that would wash away later. I will confess to that one.
Unlike Romar's tats, the players' ink won't be washing off anytime soon. Freshman guard Tony Roten explains the permanent nature of this art form.
Tattoos, they last forever. You know, you can't just erase tattoos, so you want to be able to get something that means something a lot to you. And for me, you know, the one thing that I always said about tattoos is whenever I get a tattoo, I never want to regret it. You know what I'm saying? And you can never regret having your family members on your arms or wherever it is on your body. Got a dog tag, Cash, my dog's name. And then ATL's initials, my name, my two sisters' name. I got a guardian angel right here. And then on my back of my arm, I got a Moan, man on a mission. And then I got throwing up L's, you know, from my crew loyalty of everything, you know, bigger on loyalty. So.
Desmond Simmons' favorite tattoo is this prayer that covers his left upper arm.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. There's a prayer that I don't know how many times I heard this prayer when I was younger. And it just kind of, as I got older, I started to take from it. And I don't know, it's something I really liked. And I feel like, getting on my arm, you know, something that stick with me.
While the players really liked their tattoos, they were all a little nervous about mom and dad's initial reactions. Gant admitted to getting his first tattoo done without his mother even knowing about it.
I hid it from my mom for a long time, but she kind of found out. You know, I had my hand on my head in the car, and then she looked over, and she was like, "What's that on your wrist? What's wrong with your wrist?" And I tried to hide it, but she knew what it was.
Once their first tattoos were out in the open, the players began to get more and more, and some already have plans for future ink.
I think one of my next tattoos is going to be misunderstood somewhere in my body, you know, because that's one of the big things I feel that I am, you know, so misunderstood. And Definitely a basketball tattoo. I gotta get one of those.
In what ways do you feel you're misunderstood?
You know, just how people, think of me. I'm just, people think, I'm a bad person or, arrogant, but I'm just different once you get to know me. So that's why I consider myself misunderstood.
After I finish this tattoo, I feel like I'll be done until I have kids. I have plans to get my kid's name on my wrist, and that'll be it.
There are a lot more to tattoos than just how they look. For the Huskies men's basketball team, they represent family, friends, and words to live by. Reporting for the Daily's Double Shot, I'm Lauren Lemieux.